Buffs Nation, I'm back. I had a wonderful interview with Trevor from Saturday's Warrior, BYU content creator, just getting going. He's one away from hitting partner status. Come on now, y'all. We got to get in there, subscribe to that man, get this man monetized because he is grinding, he's putting in the work, and he deserves it. So, is link in the description. Please go subscribe to him. But tonight we're going to be celebrating, and I need all y'all to assemble because one, I only got 4 hours to work tomorrow, so I'm going to be up late. And two, I'm chilling by myself. I'm going to go get a pizza maybe later tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Uh, might do some other fun things. You know, when in Colorado, right? But the Buffs fans, we need to assemble. This is going to be a different type of live stream, kind of open ended. So if y'all want me to comment on want me to talk about something, hit that in the comments. But of course, go subscribe to my man, Trevor from Saturday's Warrior. He just needs one more subscriber to become a YouTube partner. Come on now. Let's show him some Buffs Nation love. Again, link in the description to his channel. Let's get him there. That man has been grinding. But man, after that conversation I had with Trevor talking about BYU, I cannot be more excited to be in the Big 12. And man, what I've been seeing on Twitter today is that there are many Big 12 fans that want to start to get to know CU fans. And so I was thinking today could kind of go through Twitter a little bit, see what's going on. Y'all can see my Twitter, and we're going to just leave this open-ended. Hopefully, Twitter is going to give me some interesting things to talk about, some great memes to comment on, and we're just going to party together for a little bit. How does that sound? How does that sound? Make sure to hit that like, drop a comment, let me know who's in the house, and we're going to get started. Oh, by the way, interviewing my friend John Cronenberg again tomorrow from Orange Stampede. He is coming out with some really cool things. I'll let him share it, but he's coming out with some really cool things here in the near future regarding college sports. So he's going to be on my channel quite a bit moving forward. But actually, how do I do this? All right, I've never done this before, but Big Dog Chico did this. I'm going to leave this open. If you want to join the stream, if you want to chat for a little bit, keep this open-ended. I've never done this before. Y'all better not screw this up. Take advantage of this. Okay? But y'all can join the stream if you want. We can chat. But until that happens, I'm going to be enjoying some Twitter. All right. So here is my Twitter. We're going to refresh this because there's a lot going on. Guess I should get verified. Or is that kind of lame? You know, do I really need to be verified or whatnot? But there's a lot that I wanted to bring up here. First and foremost, there is a wonderful Cyclones fan named Travis. Where is he? Where'd he go? Right here. He's looking for some Buff fans to interact with on Twitter. Look, Travis, Clones, Cyclones fan. I need CU fans to follow. I met a ton from Utah, Arizona, and ASU, but CU seems to be lacking. That is not the case. Your algorithm is just not being pushed with Buffs content yet until now. So y'all let me know who else I'm missing out of here. I forgot the Folsom Frenzy guys. Felt so bad about that. Hoping to have Accounting Nerd on here. Jake, he's one of the C Unit founders and hosts of Folsom Frenzy, but I want to get all the guys on. But y'all got to make sure to find this post and let yourself known. Let's see. How do I even share this? Yeah, y'all let yourselves known. We got to help out. We got to help out Travis here, right? Now, another thing that I was thinking about today is I saw this Facebook ad, and I think some of y'all probably saw this on Twitter too. What is up with this? So I get this ad. I'm going to show you on my phone, and it is for customized NIL jersey for Colorado. So I was getting super pumped up, right? Like, oh my God. I've been talking about one of Shedeur Sanders jersey, right? This came up on my Facebook yesterday. Come on now. Oh, this lighting here. Nope. Let me see here. Where'd it go? Here we go. Yes, right there. See that? You know what it says? It says shop official Colorado Buffaloes merchandise and apparel. Men's Nike Black Colorado Buffaloes pick a player NIL jersey, right? So I was super excited about this because y'all know that I've been talking about how with NIL, we need players where we can buy their jerseys, where they get a cut of that. Like, there's no excuse not to have a full team store of all the players, right? Right? So I go there, I click on the link. It's like sponsored by Fanatics or whatever. And it just brings me to the front page. Ridiculous. And I go in there, I go in the jersey section, and all I can find are customizable basketball jerseys with only the players from last year's roster on there. Can y'all explain that one to me? But man, I want a black and gold Shedeur Sanders jersey. Shedeur Sanders is my favorite player on the Buffs. Again, I'm a slut for good quarterback play. And we haven't had a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders here with his sort of NFL arm talent, really for most of my lifetime, if not my entire lifetime. And I really want that man's jersey. He's a great leader. He shows so much poise. He's accurate. He trains with Tom Brady. And I like the style of play. He's heady. Like we saw in practice the other day, Bucky showed this about how, he changed the line or changed the play at the line of scrimmage. And what do you do? He threw a touchdown. How many college players do we see changing plays that can read a defense pre-snap and shift the team into an audible? Not many. He's a special mind. I think that's what a lot of people overlook about him. And I could talk about Shedeur Sanders literally every day because I don't care what our record really turns out to be this year. What I really care is that I'm going to watch a quarterback that knows how to play this year. And we're going to be in a lot more games than we were in, especially in the recent past, right? Shedeur is the man. And so if any of y'all know what was up with this, I go to the NIL site and there's no jersey to buy. And I was so disappointed. Y'all got to help me out with that. I got to know what's up. But speaking of getting on Twitter for a little bit, and again, y'all that are joining, I got a link here in the StreamYard. Oh, my dumbass put those links in the private chat. So here, if anybody wants to join the show and talk, don't be too crazy. Don't be doing anything too crazy now. You can join the show right here. Copy that link from David Talks Buffs, right? And let's chat. This is going to be a late night chat. We can keep this open-ended as long as it's Colorado sports related, Big 12 college football related. Let's chat. I don't care if you're a fan of the Buffs or another team. This would be a lot of fun. Again, Big Dog Chico, one of my inspirations, one of the YouTube creators that I really look up to. I was on a show where he did this a few months ago, and it was a lot of fun. and it's late at night. I got nothing going on. We'll see what goes on later tonight, but I'm going to enjoy my Thirsty Thursday. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of fun. So, y'all hit that StreamYard. Y'all come in and talk with me. But this is another thing that I wanted to talk about. I need to link her account here onto the description of this. I hope Cheryl sees this because I'm going to give a big shout out to Cheryl C in her page. Just got to find it. What's her name again? She's on Twitter. I'm going to have to find her. Y'all are going to follow along with me. Alrighty. But first, let's see. Let's see if there's any funny memes here at the top of Twitter. Actually, I know I need to be giving Cheryl a shout out, but I need to comment on this really quick. Y'all can probably tell I didn't take my Adderall today because my mind is all over the place. But this photo, it is hilarious how much Nebraska fans are losing their mind over this photo. I love it. Comment more on Colorado stuff than their own stuff. And I think it's hilarious, man, because honestly, we've been the underdog in this entire rivalry. Like, we're the little brother, but we hold the majority of your mind share. Now, I'm not going out here, talking a bunch of shit all the time in college sports, but I love this banter that we're seeing between CU and Husker fans, man, because it's only rising with the hirings of Matt Rule and Coach Prime. But legit, thought this was a youth sports picture. And I said, bookmarked for September 9th when NU loses to a youth football team. I cannot wait. I can't wait for September 9th. Right? I mean, let's just go through this. Check this out here really quick. Yeah, this is the no passing zone. And by the way, if you don't follow, I'm here to cause trouble. You're missing out on prime, pun intended, Buffalo's content on Twitter. I'm shocked at how many Nebraska's fans are in the comments with how bad the grades are at the school. I didn't think many of them knew how to type or read for that matter. I guess hooked on phonics really does work. And I loved it. And Silver Buff, he's another quality follow on Twitter for Buff's content. See, I said, you know what? I love the hooked on phonics burn. It was beautiful, right? I mean, all this just cracked me up, and I think our Cornhusker brethren. I wish Mike was here, our honorary Cornhuskers fan from Nebraska, who's on this channel frequently. Man, I hope you see this because you got to let me know your thoughts. Do we look like a youth football team? I guess we'll find out. But there's one thing that we can't debate, and that's fact. And the fact is that apparently Nebraska is the worst ranked Big Ten institution academically. And again, I'm here to cause trouble. He's just full of burns. Burns, burns, burns. That's what I really like about him. But look at this, Rod Hamlin. This team might not win a game this season. They will be mauled by USC, Oregon, Utah, Oregon State, Wazoo, TCU, Arizona, Arizona State, Nebraska. You'll see 90% of their team in the portal by next season. I love it. I bookmarked that one. We got to get that bookmark count up. We're up to 21 Buffs fans. We got to get more. And again, quality meme here from the real JB. And the award for poor uninformed clown tweet of the week goes to our wonderful Cornhusker brethren, Rod Hamlin. I've never done a Twitter reaction show like this, so let me know if you enjoy this or not, because I think this is kind of hilarious. The 1970s apartment complex background poverty program. Oh, dude, I got to go back up to this. You know what? I'm gonna give you that one. That is hilarious. That was a good burn. That was a good one, Husker fan. I'm gonna like that because that was a really good one. Where'd it go? Right there. Why is your team practicing in the projects? That's funny. Oh yes, and then this response has been trending all over my feed today. Pick Hims. He's another great Coach Prime, Colorado follow. We might be the tallest team in the country on average, yet we are almost or way the same as Nebraska. So if we're small, like these hate Nebraska fans are, what does that mean? Or what does that make the Mazercraz? I don't know. I don't get that reference. Maybe y'all can explain it to me. But look at this. Size heading into 2023. All right. We are, it looks like, shoot, the tallest team in college football. Okay. If not, maybe the second most. UCLA looks like it's probably a little bit ahead of us. But then you look at the weight, and maybe Nebraska is just a smidge ahead of us. But basically, we're the same size. We're the same size. They might be a little ahead of us on the weight, but we're more ahead of them on the height than the weight. And you can see kind of where CU stacks out here compared to the rest of college football. We're still a little bit on that light side, but you see like teams like Ole Miss, quality right there. UCF's going to be getting better, and this is our first year of recruiting at a legit Power Five level. It's only going to get better from here. We're only going to get stronger. We're only going to get bigger, and we're definitely going to continue to get faster, which is hella exciting, right? So thank you for entertaining that with me, everybody. And so enough of that digression. Gonna say hello to everybody, and then we're gonna get into Cheryl C. I've been so rude getting away from Cheryl C. But Miss Pleasantly Plump, good to see you. Hey, David. Yeah, Cheryl C's documentaries are the best. Absolutely. Oh, yes, Mike is checked in. I'll get to your comment here in a minute. John Wick, wonderful name, by the way. John Wick 4 was incredible. Checking in from New Zealand. We got a global fan base now here at Colorado. So thank you for checking in, John. I appreciate your support. And again, y'all go subscribe to my buddy from BYU, Saturday's Warrior. He's one subscription away from becoming a YouTube partner. Let's get him there, y'all. Damon, Big Bubba, good to see you, brother. And lastly, Mike. Yes. No, Dave, Colorado does not look like a football team. It's going to be a great game. I cannot wait. I cannot wait, man. It's going to be fantastic, and hopefully just a very small, minimal sea of red this time. Am I right? So I'm here to talk very briefly. Then we could get back into some of this Twitter stuff with Nebraska fans and going through those responses, because that back and forth I've been looking at all day. Extremely hilarious. I have loved that. So we're gonna go back here, and I need to find Cheryl C because she just got on Twitter. Also, if y'all don't follow Cyclone Larry 69, you're really missing out. I'm a big fan of Cyclone Larry 69. All right, here we go. A fan's take. Cheryl C. Cheryl C. She's been one of my day one followers. She has been um, in so many of my streams, in so many of my comment sections, always encouraging me, always giving her take. And when I saw this come across my Twitter feed that she's putting out like full length documentaries on these players, man, um, just incredible stuff. And to see her doing it, she's doing what no one else is doing. She put out a 45-minute documentary, a 45-minute documentary on Jimmy Horn. I mean, who is doing that? And the sleuthing that she's doing, the clips and things that she's finding from his childhood, all of that info. This isn't just somebody throwing it together. She put in countless hours into these videos, and the Twitterverse, the YouTubeverse, the internets, the football gods are rewarding her for her diligence because Cheryl C, if you see this, you gotta link your YouTube channel in here. Okay. But she's got it in here. Look at look at that thumbnail. Oh, whoa. Look at this. Look at this. 533 subscribers, 1.2 thousand likes. Look at this. Look at this. 56,000 views. I mean, this was somewhere over when I watched this morning. It must have been 40,000 or so posted a day ago. And I got to be honest, Cheryl C, if you're seeing this, if you're seeing this, it brought tears to my eyes. I teared up this morning watching this because um, the level of craftsmanship that this took, um, to see you blow up like that, I couldn't be more happy for you. And anybody who was watching my channel, of course, go follow Trevor. We gotta help him out. But man, Cheryl C, she's like right in there. She's like right in there already as one of the top content creators for what's going on here at Colorado. And she is providing an insight and a spin and an angle on all this that none of us are doing. She has found a unique stance and pinpoint, I guess, within the market. She's owning it. So, wonderful job on the video work. Um, wonderful job narrating. I can't imagine how long it took you to do this, but you deserve everything that's coming to you. Absolutely everything. And if you ever want to be on my show, you have a green light to do it. Would love to have a chat with you. But Cheryl C, I gotta say that seeing this and watching this, it literally was the highlight of my week. Maybe I'm in my feels, whatever, but I'm not lying telling you that my eyes teared up watching your work this morning. So thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for answering that call. And thank you for not being, too afraid to, put yourself out there. Because when you start making content, you put yourself into the arena, the of criticism and all this to come from everywhere, whatever. But um, I think what you'll most enjoy from this is the growth, the people that you'll meet, the people that you influence and inspire. And I can say that I felt inspired going into today, having this been the first thing that I watched while I was drinking my coffee, eating my breakfast, and just taking a slow morning before starting work. Cheryl C, man, I love it. But if any of y'all want to get on here and chat on my live stream, the link's in the description. You can copy that and paste it and go, I'll get on that page here in a minute. But look, I haven't watched the other ones, but she's got one on Shane Cokes, Cavassier Smoke, Jordan Dominic. Look, a 47-minute video on Jordan Dominic. And then one on Levante Bentley. 40 minutes. 40 minutes on Shane Cokes. So she is the definition of just All she does is just put out bangers. That's what she's doing. Top quality content, 53,000 533 subscribers already in 5 videos, unheard of, unprecedented, and she probably already killed that watch time metric with just this one video blowing up. She should be a YouTube partner. Let me see. I think 4,000 watch hours. So we're gonna do 43. Well, let's just say I guess I got to estimate how long her normal views were. Let's just say they were 10 minutes long. That's over 500,000 minutes. I mean, yeah, that's 9,000 watch hours right there. If people watch for an average of 10 minutes, if they watch for an average of 5 minutes, she's already there at 4,600. Cheryl C. I hope you see this, but Buffs Nation, we got to rally around Cheryl C. She's putting out bangers. And yeah, just some of the things. I mean, you're finding videos of Jimmy Horn mowing his lawn as like a 14-year-old. That's impressive. Just high quality work, and you deserve all that's coming to you. So thank you. Of course, man. Of course. It's all love here on the David Talks Buff channel, man. Fly Boy Brass, what's going on? Good to see you. Cheryl C's videos are incredible. Yes, and I can't wait to watch more tomorrow. That's going to be hella fun since I barely got to work tomorrow, right? I love it. So before I forget, and Mike, I'm going to get to your comment here in a minute, but I got to put a tweet out for Cheryl C real quick, right? I gotta maybe like, I don't know. Let's see here. Uh, ooh, maybe I can quote tweet it this time. We'll see here. Cheryl. Come on. Your Twitter handle again. I should know this. Cheryl C fans take. Okay. Yes. Your work brought tears to my eyes this morning. You deserve all of the blessings that are coming next. Every Buffs fan, Cheryl C is a must follow on YouTube and Twitter /X / whatever you want to call it. Okay. There we go. We got it posted. Also, I love how Elon Musk changed the site to X, but bro, the URL is still, it's all Twitter URLs. Come on, man. Get with it. All right. Mike, that big guy on TCU line, his hands will be on his hips, breathing harder after first quarter. Watch, whoever ends up against him will have no problem. Well, Mike, have you done some scouting? Because I have not done any scouting on TCU yet. I know absolutely pretty much close to nothing about their team coming up here in like 3 weeks. I got to prep on it. All I know is about the guys that got drafted in the NFL. So it sounds like TCU's got a guy that doesn't have a deep tank, sounds like. So maybe we can take advantage of that. I would love that. But man, Mike, I gotta know. Well, one, tell me who this guy is. What's his name? So I can look him up. But then two, as a Nebraska fan, I want to know how many wins are you expecting on the schedule for Nebraska this year? And how many wins are you expecting for CU this year? And I promise I won't make fun of you. I'm just genuinely curious because, you're one of my most active people on here, especially the most active Cornhusker fan on here, which we really do appreciate. Again, you are the honorary Cornhusker of this channel. Just like we got a few honorary reverends to pray for all the Colorado Buffaloes. Now I feel like I was going to say something else, but until then, we might just get back to what I was talking about with Nebraska, right? Oh, I remember what I was going to do. I was just going to go ahead and look up the Nebraska football schedule because I'll give you my thoughts. Not that they mean really anything, but we're going to have fun with this. Dang, that's a beautiful photo. I'll give your fans credit all the time. I do. They're a good fan base. Dang, 20 days till you face off against Minnesota. Okay. August 31st against Minnesota. Then you play Colorado, Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech, Michigan, Illinois, Northwestern, Purdue, Michigan State, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Okay. So I man, how bad was Minnesota last year? I'm gonna give it to Minnesota because they're at home. Then I give it to Colorado, right? I mean, I cannot choose the Huskers. Can't. Got to go with my Buffs. So then Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech, y'all take care of those. 2-2. Y'all lose to Michigan. Y'all lose to Illinois, but you beat Northwestern. Y'all better beat Northwestern. Absolutely. But y'all lose to Purdue. You lose to Michigan State. Y'all beat Maryland. Y'all beat Wisconsin. And y'all lose to Iowa. So is that 5 games? I got 5 games. But I believe that Matt Rule is a good coach. Again, it's going to take him a little while, I think, to get the Cornhusker program to where they should be. But I think he's the right man for the job. If you can still hear me. And I want to be surprised if Nebraska, if they finish off rather strong compared to a slow start. 6 games? I could see them winning 6 games depending on the quarterback play that they have. Again, Jeff Sims, he's not really known as a passer, but you don't exactly need a passer to win in college football. It sure does make things a hell of a lot easier, but you got some games y'all can win. I mean, y'all won 3 games last year, so anything over 3 games is an improvement. And there's definitely some gettable games here. All right, here we go. 7 wins for Nebraska, 4 wins for Colorado. All right. I don't hate that. I think that's pretty generous coming from a Cornhuskers fan. So my guess is that let's see, you probably got Colorado, Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech, Northwestern, maybe Maryland, Iowa, Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin's not supposed to be good this year, right? Didn't they lose their quarterback? Again, I don't follow the Big Ten a ton, so you'll have to help me out there. But nonetheless, it's going to be a very exciting season. We're going to go ahead and check on the over under for CU Buffs football 2023. And it looks like the line is still at 3.5 wins. So I'm going to go through the schedule. Buffs fans, you're going to get a preview of my unofficial win prediction for this year. This isn't my official one, but it may become that. Ugh, I just hate how this is organized. I can't do it. Google, do better. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to skip TCU right now, okay? Name that one last. We got to beat Nebraska. We got to beat Colorado State. Man, it would be so sweet to beat both Oregon and USC, but I don't see that happening. Arizona State, we are better than them. We are better than them, especially if they're starting a true freshman quarterback. So that's 3 wins right there. Stanford might be the worst team in Power 5 college football this year. That's number 4. UCLA, man, I don't know about that one. Still up in the air. I'll get back to that one. Oregon State, they're a damn hard team. They probably got an upgrading quarterback. They have a damn good defense. I don't think we win Oregon State right now. Arizona, I think we can beat them. Okay. Washington State got decimated by the portal. That's 6 wins right there. I don't think we beat Utah in Salt Lake City. They are the back-to-back conference champions. They are a damn good football team. And a lot of people think that is a win because they haven't watched Utah freaking just run over everybody. So, let me go back here, TCU. Give me 7 wins, man. Mike, I love it. I love it how as a fan, you're able to find the 7 wins for your team, and as a fan, I'm able to find the 7 wins for my team. Don't you love that? Let me go see the over under um, for NU football 2023. How many games are y'all expected to win? Damn, 6.5? Really? No way. Man, that's a little surprising. I feel like that's a little rich, man. I mean, y'all won 3 games last year, right? Come on, just give me the Yeah. Oh, you were 3-6 in conference, 4-8 overall. But y'all lost to Northwestern, so that should count as 2 losses. But man, I'm kind of surprised that okay, Mike, you got to let me know like what are most Cornhusker fans like expecting from the team this year, like in terms of judging if Matt Rule did a good job this year, because he's facing a big rebuild project, just like our staff is here. What are most Cornhusker fans expecting or wanting as a judging a successful year from Matt Rule. I really want to know. That is very interesting that they have been given a 6.5 win total. Huh. Yeah. Um, yeah. Y'all got to let me know. You got to let me know, Mike. But until then, I'm going to get back to some of this Twitter stuff that I find hella hilarious. All right. This is something else that I want to comment on. What the hell, Buffs fans? What the hell? I I hate this. Okay? Maddox Cop. Okay? One of our transfer quarterbacks, okay? He was disappointed that the NCAA denied his waiver for immediate eligibility, okay? One, he has learning disabilities. As somebody who has ADHD, I can empathize with that. Okay? Number two, his decision to transfer was made within the right frame. Okay? Number three, and people are reading this as like a dig at Coach Prime. What the hell? What the hell? It's not. It's not. He's just stating the facts. Like, this isn't a dig at Coach Prime. It's true. He came in here saying that he was going to overhaul the roster. We know that Maddox Cop wasn't he wasn't at the right level for where this program was going, what the new standard was. He's saying here, Coach Prime made it very clear that holdovers from the previous team were not welcome and it was best to leave. We have like 10 holdovers from last year's team. Obviously, that was the case. He and Coach Prime said that himself, okay? Especially as I am a quarterback, the same position as the son, who I train with, in the offseason. Again, he's not. Oh, this pisses me off, Buffs fans, because I see how toxic like some of us are getting trying to shit on this kid. What the hell is wrong with you guys? Like, no disrespect to CU or coach. Just go watch the meeting that got 30 million views. He's in the front row. Absolutely. Okay. Like, that is totally valid that his coach was like, everybody, 90% of this team has to go. But then I'm seeing all of these assholes on Twitter saying, like, oh, well, you're just a quitter. No, we knew that at this program, we were not recruiting at a normal Power Five level for the last handful of years. Like, this is just logical. This is stuff that I went back to say when I first opened up this channel about how most of the guys would end up in the group of five in FCS. And we've seen that. And they're not ending up there because they're quitters. They're just ending up there because that's the level that they need to be at. Like, no disrespect, but I see Buffs fans, Prime fans, y'all getting in, retweeting this guy, just crapping on him when he never said anything disrespectful. What the hell? So y'all let me know what you think about that. But it's like this guy is talking about the NCAA, an issue that he has with that, not getting eligibility. He lays out three very logical, understandable points, valid points, and y'all are just trying to spin what he's saying to make him look like he's just a quitter or a bitch. And that's not true. So stop. Yeah. So, Kat, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning into my live stream as well with my interview with um Trevor, my new BYU fan. But I'm going to comment on this Nebraska stuff, Mike, here in a minute. But I just need to stop this. I just need to finish this up. I have called on us Bus fans. What I hope is that going into this year, and as we come into football relevancy again for the first time in 20 years, I'm hoping that we can't be, that we don't become just entitled assholes, especially for guys. Okay, maybe they weren't Power Five level, but were here. And you know what? They still got out there. They still put their bodies on the line and got on the field, got their ass whooped for this school. They put their health at stake for this school. And for people to get on there and tweet at these young men, calling them quitters and bitches, shame on you. All right. I just don't want to see that, man. Like and like I don't get pissed on here. But what pisses me off is when I see grown ass people, men and women, just talking down to these kids like they know them, just talking down to them like they know the whole story, and it's just infuriating. This guy's just trying to make a point that he doesn't feel like the decision was valid. Not once did he ever come on here like that walk-on tight end that was complaining about not getting film and, you know, calling Coach Prime Dion and all this stuff. He was not disrespectful. He's cool with the Sanders family, obviously. And he's saying, my third point was that I was told I didn't have a place here. That's just business. Like, haven't any of you been laid off before? If you don't have a job, is it because you're just a quitter or a bitch? I don't like that. We gotta do better, Buffs Nation. I don't want to see this stuff for the whole year. Enough of this toxic BS where it's like this insecurity, this need to defend Coach Prime, where he doesn't need defending, especially for stuff like this when it's not even a coach talking at him. It's a player just literally stating facts. What did he state that wasn't a fact and wasn't true? The more I talk about it, the more pissed I'm getting. All right. Back to the fun stuff, right? Fongwei Reldman. I expect the coach to reduce Nebraska's boneheaded comedy of errors. I just don't know if there's been enough roster turnover yet, unless a lot of younger guys get to play. And that's right. And they've been pretty active in the portal from what I have seen as well. But of course, it hasn't been to the level that we've seen at CU. But I think they brought in like a handful of guys. Let's see here. Nebraska. And it might be considered more quality than quantity, but I think they brought in some talented players here, okay? 12. That's a handful, okay? You're bringing in a tackle from Utah that is darn good at recruiting and developing talent, okay? At the offensive line position, you got Tyler Knack. You got an edge coming over here from Georgia. That's a big deal, four-star transfer, okay? You got Jacob Hood, a Georgia offensive lineman coming over here. I mean, again, and this is the same thing that I hear when people are knocking CU's transfers. Well, hey, they're just bringing in guys leftovers. When you're at a place where you're like CU or Nebraska, where we've been the last few years, usually if you're bringing in guys that have been recruited to these big time programs that are known for their lines, even if they're not starters, they can be a significant upgrade on what you had before. So hats off to Matt Rule on getting those guys. Okay, let's continue. Billy Kemp. I've heard of him. I don't know too much about him. Coming over here from Virginia, Eric Gilbert was another tight end that I was looking at early on after Coach Prime was hired. Georgia guy again. These guys are known for their tight ends. You bring in some more SEC talent at the cornerback position with Corey Collier coming over here from Florida. And then you got some other interesting transfers. Elijah Judy was another defensive lineman that I had my eyes on for CU coming over here from Texas A&M because they can recruit. Then you got another Florida talent, linebacker, Chief Borders, and then Ben Scott, an offensive tackle from Arizona State. I don't know too much about him. Then you got Jeff Sims. Again, he threw for like 5 touchdowns last year, but that's the Georgia Tech offense. And if Matt Rule's wanting to play some smash mouth football this year, old school Nebraska smash mouth football, when you were looking at the other options in the transfer portal, Jeff Sims was one of the best that you could land. Maybe the kid, I'm always forgetting his name, that went to Notre Dame. Maybe they could have been in the running for that. Why am I always forgetting his name? But there weren't a ton of quarterbacks available in the transfer portal. There just weren't. And then you got a long snapper you're bringing in, Marco Ortiz, and then you got a Baylor wide receiver, Josh Fleeks. I don't know too much about him, but yeah, you've had a lot of turnover. And I mean, look at where these guys are going. You got a guy going to Syracuse, Miami, um, FAU. Don't know. I mean, CU has a lot of these don't knows too. I can't even read the logo of that school. Liberty, like going way down. You did lose a big time defensive lineman to Ole Miss. Again, that can happen, getting poached by a larger program. And that happens. But again, there is roster turnover, and you're going to see less transfer portal turnover the longer Matt Rule is there. Just like Coach Prime, we will not see 70 guys enter the portal this next offseason. So I think it's really interesting that while Nebraska and CU aren't exactly in the same places, they're both going through complete overhauls. And I think that's something to be excited about and to pay attention to. Um, because yeah, Dakotas Crawford transferred. Um, there's obviously Matt Rule is a lot different than Coach Prime, and their strategies and ways and going about doing things are different. Maybe with how they show themselves in the media or promote themselves or whatever. But at the end of the day, they're both going through massive overhauls of their roster. That is the intention. And the destination is to then replace them with amazing recruits moving forward. That is something that I think with Nebraska and Matt Rule that will happen. Matt Rule's a guy that can recruit Texas, and Nebraska has struggled there, just like Colorado has, moving out of the Big 12, and bringing a guy in there like Matt Rule, who knows Texas, who has all the connections. It's going to benefit them. I think he's a great hire, and if this doesn't work out, for Matt Rule, I'm not blaming Matt Rule for it. I mean, he's proven it enough at Temple or Baylor that, I mean, the man knows how to coach college football. Who cares what happened in the NFL? Did Nick Saban even get through one season with Miami Dolphins? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Matt Rule can coach. He can recruit, and he's set up to do something I think very well with Nebraska. Hopefully, people and ego don't get in the way. Okay, Dave, I like your honesty. Thank you. You're always going to get my straight up opinion here. I try and have a fun time with this. Beat the corn out of Nebraska. Absolutely. That's what I want. Worry about your conference games. Exactly. Mike keeping receipts, absolutely. And Mike, very you definitely should, you know. And if Nebraska does beat Colorado, you have a green light to do whatever you want on this show. Okay. Yeah, going back to Maddox Cop, it's disappointing that people lose sight of the fact that these are student athletes. This is not the NFL. Absolutely. Absolutely. It just pisses me off, man. It pisses me off. And we got to be better. So, the only way we get better is by calling it out. We got to, we got to remind people that like this is just a game, and as fans, these are real people. This isn't um and this is might be a game to us. That's what I meant to say. But at the end of the day, these are with real people, not like video game characters, right? Keck, tell me about Ben Scott because I know nothing about him. Worry about injuries and depth. I mean, as every university outside of like five need to worry about. We both do. Mike, we have a 5-star that will be starting, a 4-star that has been out almost 2 years because of injuries. Man, I can't wait to see this, man. I cannot wait for September 9th quicker because, again, as we've seen in that little graphic that's been circulating Twitter, we're about the same size team, you know? And we'll see who is the tougher team and we'll see who is the faster team, right? More mentally tough team. But at least from this Colorado Buffaloes channel, you're still only going to get nothing but respect from this channel when it comes to Nebraska because I like what they're building. Matt Rule, yeah, he can coach and recruit, but he's on an island um, in Lincoln, and that's true. And I mean, I think people were. I mean, didn't they do pretty well recruiting with Scott Frost? I mean, I think there was just some other stuff going on, right? Um, I. It's good to have Matt Rule there. It's good to have a NIL collective as good because I feel like he will be able to leverage that better than the previous coaches. Um, and yeah, this is really a time I think you're going to see Nebraska put themselves, in the national spotlight moving forward, and it might be kind of a more like steady rise. Maybe not something completely overnight, but I mean, I don't know, man. I grew up in Illinois. I grew up in the Midwest, right? And the Big Ten, can y'all help me understand this? How they have the highest paying media deal when I think it's the most top heavy conference in Power Five college football. And maybe that's just me being ignorant. If I'm being ignorant, y'all tell me in the comments. But every year it's like Ohio State and then maybe a few other schools depending on where they're at. So Michigan, Michigan State, you'll have Penn State in there every now and then. You'll have um, Wisconsin in there every now and then, but and then every blue moon, I guess there's like a program like um, Indiana or Purdue that can, or like Iowa that can kind of come out of nowhere. I think Minnesota had like, you know, 2 good years, like 7, 8 years ago. Um, Nebraska's path to, um, you know, that top end in the Big Ten, you don't really have to go through too many teams. Now, I know that that's changing with bringing in the 4 schools from the West Coast and the Pac 12 because all those teams, well, I guess 3 of those 4 teams, I think are really quality. USC, Washington, Oregon, they're all really good teams. We'll see how they do with, traveling 2, 3 time zones over for half their games. Um, and UCLA, this might be a transition year for them if they do start that freshman quarterback that they got. But Chip Kelly's kind of found himself again, and we'll see if they can sustain that success. I mean, they won double-digit games last year. People don't realize that. And the Pac-12 isn't a slouch right now, but Nebraska, it's not like I guess like those teams are tough, but there's not really anybody to challenge, I guess, Michigan and Ohio State right now in that conference. Am I being ignorant until USC and all those guys get in there next year? Y'all let me know. I'm gonna bash Nebraska or go bash Nebraska now. Oh man. Well, again, I'm glad that we just did like a little bit of a dive into it because it's something that, yeah, I think is just totally worth following, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And college football is better when Nebraska is good, just like college football is always better when the Buffs are good, right? So y'all be sure to keep tweeting at that administration of yours, making sure that we can schedule a lot of these out of conference games against y'all. Right? We got to keep this going. Okay. Talking about Sims, I suspect he'll start for Nebraska. Oh no, you're talking about Ben Scott. He will start for Nebraska. I think you want to change the scenery after Herm left. That's understandable. 6'5", 305, and has a nasty streak. Love to see that, right? And a lot of these linemen who end up going NFL, whatever, like they weren't 5-star guys coming in, right? Just like we're bringing in some offensive linemen that, they're not 5-star guys, but they got a mean streak to them. O-line is developed. You kind of grow into that, into college. Some of these guys that can come in here as 4 or 5 stars, for some of them, their peak was in high school. Regarding the media deal, Keck says, I don't get it because a lot of their media markets are losing population. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if you're Ohio State, if you're Michigan State, um, Penn State, and I guess now the 4 schools, but let's just talk about the traditional Big Ten. Like if you're those 4 or 5 schools, like, don't you feel like you're the only ones pulling the weight in the media deal? Like, why do you want to stick around with all those other schools, right? Fongwei says, I'm not being ignorant. 2 yards and a cloud of dust. Very boring. He says, coming from Hawaii, Texas, Florida, New Hampshire, North Carolina, even a 4-star from Colorado. Stop, Dave. Did I mess up my words? Because I thought I said that they were recruiting on a national level and that this was only going to get better. Is that what I said? But I think the recruiting, and maybe this is where you're correcting me on, is that from my understanding, like in the 2010s or whatever, the recruiting wasn't at the same level as like what it was at in the 90s, right? Correct me if I'm wrong there. But Matt Rule is going to help Nebraska get that back. And it sounds like, based on your comment, y'all are already there. Y'all are already getting there. All right. Oregon style is going to be a real problem for the Big Ten. You got speed, and there's only a few teams, right, with that big time speed, being like Ohio State. I don't think Michigan's the fastest team, but I think some of these Big Ten fans could be a little surprised about how these schools do from the West Coast. But again, the one thing that has me a little hesitant on this is that I mean, it's like in the NFL. It's like whenever the Broncos go play in these Eastern time zones and have these like earlier kickoffs or whatever, it's like they just always just never seem to bring their best. And that's like a thing on the West Coast, these NFL teams, when they're going over into, 2, 3 time zones over, noon kickoff, like they can struggle with it. And I wonder if that might be the same for these Pac-12 schools that are now going to be traveling quite a bit. Again, this it really helps them that they do have 3 games out of the year, so I guess they'll be playing on the West Coast. But yeah, I guess it was wrong for me to say they'd be traveling out east half the year. I guess it'll be a little bit less than that. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Um, no challengers until Oregon arrives. Yeah, Oregon's gonna be tough, man. And good for Dan Lanning getting his contract extension and his raise because he's doing a great job. Keck, you were there. ASU Nebraska 14. I was there. Low scoring game, but I'm sure it was a fun atmosphere. Ben Scott used to be playing against guys around 260 pounds average. He will be average. Now, I mean, the Pac-12 most years, if like I've said with the Buffs, if there's a year to have a line on both the defensive and offensive line that's a little bit work in progress, I'm much more thankful we're playing this year in the Pac-12 rather than the Big 12. So I'm glad we kind of have a transition year to develop it a little bit. We can get away with it a little bit more compared to if we were in some of these other conferences. Legal Hustle King. What's up? Thank you for joining. I'm probably going to shut it down here in a few minutes, though. But y'all, let me know what's on your mind for like 5 more minutes, right? And this is going to be a fun game. Uncle Phil writes big checks. He absolutely does. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on my mind that I really wanted to comment on regarding college football. Hey, I'll say this. If y'all haven't listened to it, go on my Twitter and find MH version 3, or I did a tweet on him. And I own my crow because I had no idea who this guy was like a year ago. I was super skeptical of him. I'm just thinking, is this guy just writing fiction of, college football fantasy, dropping his news and every day. And, I just thought it was a bunch of BS for the longest time. But at the, on the other hand, I was still drinking the Pac-12 Kool-Aid, thinking that, somehow they could hold it together and whatnot. I couldn't be more wrong. And I think as the last few months progressed, I realized like, man, this MH guy, like he knows what's up. But he did his first interview with a UCF podcast yesterday. Please go listen to it. I've listened to it twice, and I was wrong. Like that guy is not everything he says happens. Obviously, he's a guy that's information and he puts it out there, and I really appreciate that. So I want to say to MH version 3, if you ever watch this, I'm sorry for ever doubting you, man. I'm sorry. Mike, man, you're too kind, man. You did not have to do that. That was very nice of you. That was very kind of you. And again, you make this channel more fun because we can talk about CU. You can give me your takes on the program. And it means a lot hearing from the perspective of what is going on in Lincoln, and as a Cornhuskers fan. So I appreciate you sending me that email a little while ago, that video. Sometimes it can be late responding to fan mail, but I really do appreciate it. And this is the kind of stuff, like, even though I just know your screen names, like I know you guys, like I remember you guys. I remember what you're about, and you know, building this community here on David Talks Buffs. It's been, I mean, one of the funnest things I've ever done in my crazy life that I have lived, and I have lived an insane life so far. So part of me is not surprised. that I have a YouTube channel now. But, but there's another part of me that that just really is. It's just crazy. So thank you for your generosity, Mike. I really do appreciate that. And I will keep up the good content. And like I said, if the Nebraska Cornhuskers knock off my Buffs and kill me inside, um, you can come on the show or whatever. We can talk. We can do whatever, or you can just have free reign with it. But I'll leave that up to you. We can have a good time with it. All right. So at the end of this, I will end this with saying, "Oh, you're so nice. You're all awesome and welcoming. Thanks." And I hope that's the community that we can continue to build here, because I don't want to see that that Maddox Cop energy, hate energy in this channel. College football is supposed to be fun, right? And yes, it's life and death, but I don't want to get to the point where I'm throwing proverbial batteries at you like our fans were doing at Cornhusker fans in the 90s and 80s and 90s, right? That's just not me. It's just not me. So that's just how it is. So definitely appreciate you, Mike. And yeah, m- I do wish success for both teams, because aside of playing for each other, because now I know you, which makes that fun. And then I think college football is better and rivalries are better when both teams are good. But of course, I won't be rooting for y'all in the recruiting battles against CU, right? Big Ten has two or maybe three good teams. The rest are either mediocre or downright terrible. And I guess the networks still think there's plenty of eyeballs. Yeah. And growing up in the Midwest, like, I was always confused why there was so much allegiance towards some of these. Man, it's late. Just some of these dog shit schools, man. Like, why do people care about Northwestern? Why do, like, what, I know Wisconsin's good, or whatever, but it's just some of it just never made sense to me. Like, and maybe it's just the culture of the Midwest, I guess, right? But there are more conferences with star power. Maybe not the money, but there are conferences now with more star power. I mean, of course, the SEC is there. Um, you know, Big Ten probably has more star power than the ACC, I guess. But I mean, Florida State's a big brand. I'm a big fan of the University of Miami. I'm probably a little bit more biased towards in favor of them than maybe the majority of the country is. I mean, Clemson, national brand, right? Big 12, that's where it gets really interesting, because we don't have a blue blood like Ohio State or Texas, USC, Oklahoma in there, right? But we got a lot of really interesting brands and darn good teams, right? So that, I think when I look at Brett Yormark as a fight promoter, like, there's not going to be many duds in the Big 12, like fights that don't draw, right? Maybe we don't get that big ass draw like the Big Ten gets with Michigan, Ohio State every year. But the Big 12 has some work to do on putting together these rivalries and selling them. And it seems like Brett Yormark's a fight maker, and we'll see how good he is as a fight promoter moving soon, or here, moving into the season soon. That's what I meant to say. So let me give a shout out to everybody. Mike, again, thank you so much for your $10 donation. That's too kind of you. I'm very humbled, and may you be blessed from that tenfold. Fongwei, thank you for tuning in. Marcus, thank you for tuning in. Keck, as always, Legal Hustle King, thank you for tuning in. Who else we got here? It's been y'all chilling with me, John Wick, Damon, Happiness 97, and one of our longtime viewers, Miss Pleasantly Plump. Thank you again for tuning in to David Talks Buffs. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. And as always, Sco Buffs.